guys, so we'll be taking a look at yet another iPhone 6 case. This one is from a company called Obliq, and this is the Slim Meta case. Slim Meta, something like that. It's spelled M-E-T-A. I'm not sure exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced. I'm going to go with Slim Meta. But anyway, it's basically a plastic case that's meant to look like a type of metal. This one is a titanium space gray, supposedly, and it comes in a bunch of different colors, actually. We can get this in gold, or it's kind of a champagne gold. There's a metallic emerald mint, there's a meta metallic pink, a meta metallic red, satin silver, and then this space gray version here. So if you don't particularly like this version but like the design of the case, you can in fact get a different color on Amazon. They're all just on one page, so it's super convenient to just pick the color you would like. I personally think this version looks really, really good, but of course it's up to you. Everyone has their own opinion. So anyway, this does a decent job at looking like it is in fact metal. We'll go ahead and zoom out here. You can see that it's just kind of brushed on the back, but it just does feel like a pretty flimsy plastic case. As you can see, it bends, and yeah, I mean, it's just a snap-on case like this, as you can see, and it doesn't offer a ton of protection in that sense, just because it's a snap-on case, but at the same time, it will maintain the look of your iPhone 6 for the thinness and all of that. It won't add a ton of bulk to your iPhone 6, and it will still look pretty cool. I'll, of course, put the phone in it, and to that, you would just snap it in, because it's a case like this. As you can see, it's just a little thing, and you would just put it in here, and then you would just kind of snap it in around the sides. This case is surprisingly hard to get off of the iPhone 6, actually. I wasn't really expecting that, because it's just a snap-on case, but it actually takes a little bit to get it off. I would just kind of push on the back here, which isn't something you really want to do, but you just kind of want to push around the corners, and you can just kind of eventually pull it out. It will take a little bit, but it's not one of the most difficult cases I've had to get off of phones, but it's still a lot more difficult than you would think. You can see the overall design of the case, so this is what you would be greeted with if you're looking from the front of your phone. You can see the gray all around the edges, so it doesn't like hide that or anything. You can definitely see it, but it's not super thick or anything, so it won't like, just if you're grabbing the phone, it will still feel mostly like your iPhone 6, except it's just a little, it feels like the case is actually a little big for the phone, so if you kind of squeeze it, the case actually kind of squeaks and moves, which is something that, I don't know, it's not a great sign, because you want a case to be sturdy, and the case just feels very, very slightly too large. I believe it's on correctly and everything, so it can't be that, but you just kind of squeeze it, and the case does in fact move towards it, like this piece bends here, and I don't know, it makes the case feel a little flimsy, but it's still not something that's a huge deal. On the bottom of the case, we have cutouts for everything that we would expect. There isn't a really restricting cutout for the headphone jack or lightning port or anything, so even third-party ones will work pretty well with this. You won't have any problems with the cutouts or anything, except for the mute switch is actually pretty difficult to access. It's not impossible, obviously, because I'm doing it right now, but it is more difficult than it looks, because this piece, I don't know, it's a pretty small cutout for it, and the case does raise up from the actual phone, so you're kind of sticking your finger in this little hole in order to mute and unmute your phone, so it's a little difficult to do, but it's still not impossible, of course. Same with the volume buttons. This case kind of takes away the good solid feel we have of the volume buttons, because you're pushing on the sides of the case as well as the volume buttons rather than just the volume buttons. So if you have a naked iPhone 6, you're just pushing directly on the volume buttons, but with this case it's kind of restricting the volume buttons as well, so you'll be pushing on the case as well, and there's not really any way to go around that unless you kind of push from the side, which isn't the way most people adjust the volume on their phone. The sleep wake button is different though, other than the ports on the bottom. This is probably the best cutout we have, because it has a open space here, which I believe is what they should have done for the volume rocker, possibly the mute switch as well, but here we can just see we have a cutout here rather than a thing that just opens up for it, and so you can easily access this, and because this piece is free here, you won't have any problems with that, and it's pretty easy to push. The main piece of this is the back of the case, so whether or not you like the design is up to you. I like it, except for this cutout here, just because I don't know, it feels like this, I mean, it's a good cutout, but it just feels like there should be another cutout, maybe for the Apple logo or something. That would be good, but with this case it just restricts everything but the camera, and so I don't know, I don't like it a ton. I mean, this would be nice if it was just a higher quality material, but it is just a kind of flimsy plastic. It's not terrible, of course, but it's still not my favorite case that I've used. So we did the same kind of thing that the iPhone 5 does here. You can see that it's a material here, and it's a different material here. So the actual only brushed metal part here is here. I mean, it's not brushed metal, but it gives off an appearance of brushed metal, and that's all in the middle, and the top piece are just the plastic. It's really not that cheap of plastic, but it definitely feels a lot cheaper when you're looking at this design and you think, oh, that case looks like it's a pretty high quality case, but then you kind of feel it, and if the fact that you squeeze it and it moves, like, I don't know, I doubt you can see it, but you can definitely feel it moving when you squeeze on these pieces. The case just comes in, and I don't know, it's not something that you really want to feel in a case, just because you squeeze this case and then it moves, and it's supposed to be protecting your phone, and if the case is moving a ton, it's not necessarily protecting your phone. However, the case doesn't come off of the phone very easily, so if you were to drop your phone or something, you probably wouldn't have any problems with the case flying off, but that also means that it's actually difficult to get off of your phone. As for the lay on the table design here, you can see that the case does raise up a little bit off of the iPhone 6's screen. I actually have a glass screen protector on here, so if you didn't have a screen protector, it would raise up a lot more, but it will offer a sufficient amount of protection if you were to drop your phone or something like this. It will hit the case rather than hitting your phone, and that is of course a good thing, because you don't want the ground hitting your phone screen. So overall, this case does have a decent amount of protection. It will protect your phone from scratches and things like that on the back. It will protect it from light drops, not huge drops, but if you have a glass screen protector and this, then that would be a pretty good pair, because it doesn't add a ton of bulk to the iPhone 6, and it adds some protection that you would need if you were to drop your phone or something like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't offer a ton of protection, but that is not the kind of case it is. It is just a simple snap-on case, and for the price, which is currently $12, I think it's a decent choice. If it was any more expensive than that, it would not be worth it, just because of the material it's made out of. It looks really good, and it looks like it'd be a really high quality case, but you can just kind of squeeze the plastic and it's just a little bit cheap. But that is not a horrible thing, because it's only a $12 case and it still looks really, really good, and I think arguably it doesn't feel terrible, but if you're expecting it to be made of the material that it looks like, then you're going to be let down. This has been my review of the Obliq Meta or Meta case for the Apple iPhone 6. Still not sure how it's pronounced, but anyway, if you don't like this particular color that I reviewed, they have a bunch of different colors on their website, so I'm sure you can find a color that you like. If you like the overall design of the case, it looks just like this. It still has the brushed metal design, it's just a different color. I showed you some of the features of it and just the kind of overview of the case, and so you can decide if it's a case for you, or you can decide that you don't like certain things about it. Of course, that's up to you, and that's a decision you can make. You can purchase this case with the link in the description, or you can just search Obliq Meta Apple iPhone 6 case on Amazon. I believe Obliq has a website as well, which will be linked in the description. If you guys like to see more videos similar to this one, please feel free to subscribe, or you can just check out my channel. And if you enjoyed this video in particular, then feel free to leave a like rating. If you think I could do something better, or have question, comment, concern, something like that, then feel free to leave a comment. This has been Jordan for Joe Reviews. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.